Here's another example of how much more efficient putting things together than doing things in isolation. So we had talked earlier about glutathione, for example, where it's a powerful antioxidant. There's really no context. The context is that we live in an oxygen-rich environment, and one of the metabolic byproducts of the way that we survive, the way we create energy, is to create substances that damage us at the same time. The body has a defense mechanism, the antioxidants that we produce, but they're frequently not enough. So you got to add other things on. So the glutathione is an example, and it helps protect other vitamins that become oxidized, like vitamin E, for example. So you may be thinking you're taking vitamin E, it's doing great things, but it may be getting chewed up. So you have to do things in balance. So how do you prevent these reactive oxygen species to begin with, these damaging molecules? Well, another way to do it is to, for example, combine those out-of-body interventions that we doctors can offer our patients that may not be available to the patient otherwise. So if we want to optimize the production of ATP, and you look at how ATP is made, it's a series of chemical reactions that can be influenced. If you can influence them in a positive and beneficial way, the amount of damaging substances produced during the necessary production of ATP goes down. So you don't make as many of these to begin with by combining, for example, infrared light, which activates a very specific portion of those chemical reactions. And methylene blue is another one. And then paradoxically, is placing the patient in a relatively rich oxygen atmosphere also improves the efficiency of that process. So you produce less of those byproducts. It's kind of like if you have a car and you're using an internal combustion engine to move that car. If you look at just the reaction to produce that energy, the end product should only be carbon dioxide and water. But we don't. We have tailpipe emissions that include other things like carbon monoxide and particulate matter. That's because your combustion engine is operating inefficiently. You can do things to tweak it and make it burn cleaner, and it's directly analogous to what we need to do to burn efficiently and produce less of those end products. But you can't really get the same effect by just using hyperbaric oxygen or just infrared light or just methylene blue. You have to add all these together. And that's really the magic, is anybody can offer things in isolation, but it's really when you start putting them together that they work efficiently.